By the way, Control-Shift-C will hide the clan tags and those broken clan names.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. There he is. Alright, so we still don't have a match quite yet, as everyone's finishing their, opponent off, basically. We're just guessing that a lot of matches will be ready within the next, 5, hopefully, minutes.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep my eye out for, either Mana or... I think even TLO was potentially going to be playing someone. Who was I looking at? TLO is going to be playing... Yeah, TLO is, still in his first round match, so I'm hoping that one will actually finish up soon. Because he was playing someone named Zazu, and the winner of that goes on to play versus Lambo. So that should be a good series.
Zazu.
Zazu. That sounds like a Neopet name or something. Or
Isn't
like
that
a Pokemon.
the bird in The Lion King? Zazu. Something close to that.
Maybe? I don't remember a bird in The Lion King.
What? The one that's annoying them all the time? Yeah, it's Zazu.
There's a bird in The Lion King?
Yes, just Google it. You'll recognize him.
I don't actually believe you right now.
What are you talking about? He's
Are you talking about some extended Lion King edition?
No, he's the
Oh, that bird.
Yeah,
Right,
he's
that bird.
pretty important. He's fairly important.
Mildly important.
Yeah, his name's Zazu.
I don't actually remember anything that he does that's of significance.
Nothing really. He just warns
Yeah.
the kids about stuff.
Yeah, I feel like he's just that extra character that's kind of annoying. You're like, you know what? The movie could probably do without him.
He reported to Mufasa that Simba was in the valley. There you go. They needed him for that little plot point.
You know what? They probably could have just made it up that somehow Mufasa saw him running to the valley or something weird like that. Probably would have worked out just fine.
Considering that Scar was with him and could have just been hey, let's take a stroll down here. Probably didn't need him. Oh well. Anything on the horizon? I assume Marine Lord just beat Cass or something like that.
Let's see.
Oh no, they might just start to play. That'd be another TBT.
I mean, we could also even take a look at the losers bracket, see if there's anything happening there. I don't actually see as many awesome matches in the losers bracket.
Yeah. TLO's out of game.
Oh, TLO's out of game.
We said. And he did win against Lambo.
All right. Wait, he won versus Lambo?
Sorry, he did win, so he's gonna face Lambo.
Okay, I was like, did they just not update the bracket? Oh no.
Yeah.
Because then we would just be stuck with no other games.
Alright. I'll leave it up to you to message him.
Okay.
There are gonna be a ton of good games here. Only in the round of 2. If you don't know the formats, I already went over the best of 3s up until the semifinals, losers and winners finals, and those are gonna be best of 5s. It's also vetoes, now losers pick, and the top 2 from these brackets get through. So 1 from the winners, 1 from the losers, just like the North American one yesterday.
I just realized, is Marine Lord named Moron Lord in the bracket?
Yeah, he's been Moron Lord for a long time.
I have not actually noticed that. I don't get to cast much of the European stuff, so...
Yeah.
That's pretty fantastic.
Thank you to Tanja84DK for the 9-month resub.
Man. We already got some players that have made it pretty far into the bracket. I think it's the round of 16. We got Showtime, Wellmu, Petite Drogo, Euthermal, all
Yep.
sitting in the round of 16.
You'd be right about that. And there's so many good games for it too. Showtime versus Bunny or Guru. Both would be good. Marine Lord casts, probably Marine Lord, winning that one. But going off against either Sake or sort of. Wellmu against the Laser. Drogo against probably Mana. These are all really good games around a 16.
Yeah, it's It's so funny because also like it's gonna be a really long day, as you mentioned before, with like the double elimination bracket. But you also think about like these are all the names that we're gonna have to play now, and in like a couple hours they're gonna be playing out their losers bracket matches, and they're still going to be like insanely awesome and like high level play games and later on in the day.
Yeah. That's the worst thing about going on a loser's bracket, I would say. Not necessarily having to beat someone you already beat, although that does suck as well, but just that there's a chance you have to wait like a super long time.
Yeah, do you prefer the idea that you go down to the losers bracket early and just have to play continuously for like a long time? Or would you prefer getting really far in the winners bracket, like dropping down and then having to wait like 4 to 5 hours for 1 or 2 matches?
I would prefer to get really far in the winner's bracket. If it's like, I have to get like halfway and then halfway, I might have chosen the loser's bracket the entire way, but certainly the relief of knowing you have that second life, I think is pretty good. I'd want it.
Yeah, you also just end up playing out fewer matches if you don't drop down to the losers bracket. Because in the losers bracket, you're always alternating between I'm playing someone who was also in the losers bracket and just won their last match, and then the next round you play someone who dropped down for the winners bracket. So you basically have like double the matches to play.
Yeah. It can be a really tough time, especially in Europe. I'm actually pretty surprised North American one lasted so long. Usually that, basing this off of like our Tin Cups, because we have the same format, it usually lasts like 5 hours, which is only a little bit longer than a regular cast for North America, because not that many people sign up, and it's usually pretty fast. But for whatever reason, last night was, I guess maybe more people signed up, or just the way that the brackets worked out. Sometimes there's that one person that like goes away 15 minutes, like 5 times.
Oh god, I mean, like whenever I cast a North American like WCS qualifier, I'm like, all right, so there's a velo, and this is a double elimination bracket.
Yeah.
And like we will just be always, I'll be like, okay, so that's the side of the bracket that I'm not gonna bother casting, because I know I'm going to catch all those players later on, because they're still going to be waiting for like the 3rd round match when the entire rest of the bracket is finished.
Yeah. I mean, I remember doing that back like a year or 2 ago when a villa would sign up for like a WCS stuff, right? But that was, yeah, you always knew it'd be pretty over down there. What's the hotkey for the clans again?
Control-Shift-C.
That's what I thought. Okay. So now it's a little bit prettier. And TLO has his team name in there anyways. Oh, he's doing something interesting. It's a best of 3 ZvZ in the top left as the red Zerg. He is Liquid TLO.
And his opponent, blissfully unaware, the blue Zerg player. Give it up for Lambo.
Saw this yesterday from Scarlet, actually.
Yeah, I feel like we always have to talk about this, though, but TLO, and, you know, now that you mentioned Scarlet, also known for as well taking their natural expansions, or their, like, first expansion, over at their 3rd location. So this Overlord that's going to be coming in for Lambo is going to scout out that natural and won't actually know whether or not it was an early pool, or if TLO is just taking that further back 3rd expansion.
Yeah, I brought the exact same thing with Scarlet, because they're both pretty well known for doing it in general, but also especially after they played each other and like had that little moment where they realized they did. So it's certainly very interesting to see this Don King Sejong, because I think without that little kind of like trick in the mind trick, whatever, it's actually not that great, because you do scout usually the natural so easily. You can see the timing on it, you can see if they're joining it up. It's just really easy access to scouting, and you shouldn't lose the overload for it either, because you can just stay back here. I would say that usually that's where we don't see early pulls on this map usually, but actually where Scarlet avoided the overlords specifically and only showed it with the next 2 lings, TLO shows it immediately, which is very nice for Lambo. He can't really do much to change his build for this. He already chose his timings on his hatchery and his spawning pool. He can at least mentally prepare and make sure to get lings, not drones, right now.
Yeah, I think one of the big other things that you can decide what you want to do is whether you just pull drones off of gas immediately, or if you're just going to hold them. And he does actually end up pulling his drones right now. He's going to try and save that natural expansion and hatchery. We'll see if he can actually manage to do it. There's only 6 Zerglings out right now, but a couple of Banelings are being made. When are they going to be able to actually pop in over there? And will the drones be able to actually survive versus the Banelings?
Yeah, you don't really know if it's a Baneling all in yet. So This split's pretty good. Unfortunately, it does hit a lot of the lings. If he can take out the baneling, his drones can resume taking on the lings, but it might be too late. That hatchery's already pretty low. Below 100 health, below 50. The queen can't do much about it, but it's gonna survive with 45 health on it. Oh my god.
Zombie Grove, there's no speed on the way, and with no speed on the way for TLO, but Lambo has speed, theoretically, TLO should never be able to make it across the map to get that hatchery snipe. That just should not happen for the next 3-4 minutes at least.
Yeah, TLO did an interesting variation of the early pool with the baneling nest, which does not include the speed. So, you know, Lambo saw the hatchery go down, and I was a little worried because of that he wouldn't realize it was a baneling all in. And I think he didn't realize until the last possible second where the drone split was just really good. So, like, really a lot of kudos to Lambo for reacting like that. But you're absolutely right about him having a speed advantage now. It's going to be really big. TLO was either meant to get a lot of drones or that damn hatchery. And he's just down in drones, and his hatchery's not even going to be used for a little while as his lanes just run around all the time. But he's in a pretty bad position.
Yeah, his queen may even get sniped off over here by the speed Zerglings, and the drones are being pulled. You know, that's when a Zerg player's in trouble, when they have nothing to deal with speedling attacks except for drones.
Yeah, one other drone goes down. Barely saves 4 lings here. Once that last one gets away with 1 ling after that queen. But he knows he has such, like, he's seen how long it took those lings to get speed. You know, they still didn't have it as he left the base, that he has a lot of time to safely drone up. You know, his hatchery should recover enough health not to be worried about being sniped, especially if he puts any transfuses in it. And his third base is already almost done. So, yeah, he can't safely drone that unless he continues to get really great scouting, which he is continuing to. But he can use it as a larva farm, worst case scenario.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that TLO has not bothered to scout out the third expansion, and maybe he saw like a Zergling heading over to that third with a drone or something, but honestly, like, that Overlord not being at the third expansion is a really big surprise to me, because that would be a huge reveal on exactly what your opponent's up to. Are they just going to be trying to pump out a bunch of roaches on 2 bases and come in with a big attack with speedlings and banelings, or are they going up to a third? Are they getting up Mutalisk? Like, so much information is revealed from that.
Yeah, I agree, especially about there's so many 2-base opportunities for Lambo right now. He really has a lot of control over this game. This baneling, unfortunately, even if it did hit, wouldn't get a lot done. TLO is making a handful of lings, but yeah, unless he really all-ins with this, he wouldn't really be able to punish Lambo, and he's not. He's trying to drone up. He is trying to get Lambo to over-defend, I would say, and maybe get a couple of, like, emergency, you know, amazing hits, but
Wow.
kind of a lame ending, but that's where it was going towards.
Yeah, still, interesting choices from TLO to not bother to avoid the Overlords, which, you know, can be hit or miss sometimes. Like, yeah, it does end up delaying your Zerglings a little bit more, but I think really it just came down to he got so close to killing off that hatchery, but just barely 45 hit points left over on that. And I think that would have made the world of difference. That would have potentially put TLO ahead in that game, even being at a slight drone disadvantage.
Yep, I absolutely agree. That was very unfortunate for TLO. By the way, Triss, our wonderful mod Triss, did screen cap actually the donation. So if you're still around, person donated $5. Thank you very much. Said Archon cast, whoop whoop. Also, I can't wait for Zestu to thrust his superior skill over all these Europeans and Americans. A salute, unless he's slumping during KeSPA Cup. And a total biscuit laugh. He's been slumping recently. I don't know, man.
Also, I don't know if we gave the shout out, but big thank you to Ivo Jovek for the 11th month resub.
It was a good attempt at Russian.
Ivo Jovek.
Okay, Vejovek. It just seems like everything's pronounced, like, not so strong. Alright, let's get rid of that. Put it up here. It's Frozen Temple. This was done by Vito's. Not Loser's Choice. I think TLO had the higher seed, actually. Oh, wow. And he's gonna go for another early pool. Huh. Alright. In the bottom right, as the red Zerg, he is Liquid TLO.
And his opponent in the top left-hand corner of the map, we have the blue Zerg player setting up 1-0. Give it up for Lambo.
This is just giving me, like, flashbacks to yesterday. Like, seriously. This is exactly what Scarlet did. In a best of 5, mind you. She went for 2 early pools in a row. But the first one barely worked, and I think it was, like, it didn't work initially, but then found a way to work after that. And the second one didn't work at all. So I'm a little worried. And, you know, Lambo's going for a pool first. He's not thinking like, oh, he could never do it again. I'll just play as super good as possible. No, he's gonna have well-timed lings and queens.
Yeah, I think that's also a smart decision just because Frozen Temple. But,
Yeah.
man, it takes a lot of confidence to just go for the multiple pools. It's actually, this is the way I always like to put it. You're either incredibly confident or you're incredibly unconfident in your play if you just decide to go for, like, the early pool multiple times in a row.
Yeah, right? Like, I don't know, for Scarlet, I felt like she just, you know, she kind of does these things, right? Including, like, proxy hatcheries and whatnot. TLO, he's creative, but you never really call him cheesy, although he can cheese, clearly. So to see him do it 2 times in a row, sometimes I feel like more it is, like, a confidence issue, but I could not tell you. I have no idea what he's feeling right now. Maybe it's against the matchup, maybe it's against the player. Who knows? But he is trying to go out here. It's the same type of all-in, too. Bailiness, not speed. But Lambo, like, seeing already that Lambo has lings has got to be bad news for TLO, because he knows there's also going to be a queen at a pretty good time, and the queen can help snipe down the banelings.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty frustrating. Now, Lambo also has his gas geyser that's been mining gas. He has enough to go for speed if he wants to, and he is going to be going for speed, so he's not going to throw down a Baneling nest or anything like that early on. So that is the one kind of big advantage that TLO is going to have. He's going to have Banelings, whereas Lambo's going to be relying mostly on those queens to just try and soak up or push back those Banelings.
Yeah. This is exactly what he didn't want to have happen, though. Like, it would have been great if he could wait for 2 queens, but this one's going to go down for killing 1 Baneling. Does he have enough lings otherwise? Doesn't look like it. His hatchery can take quite a beating. Like, he sees there's no reinforcement lings. But it's got to, yeah, he's got to take care of it at some point. He's going to bring a Spinecrawler down now.
Yeah, looks like the next queen is going to get focus fire down. The Baneling does go down, and the Spinecrawler is going to be able to burrow.
Yeah. It really yeah, I was wondering if maybe TLO could have gone for a 3rd or even 4th Baneling. He had enough gas for it, but I don't think it would have been worth it with the Spinecrawler coming down. That's bad news.
TLO really on point. I think his pressure was going to be faltering pretty soon anyways. Like, he did need to back up anyways, because Zergling speed's about to finish up. And if he had been caught out on the map, there would have been absolutely no retreat.
Yeah. The good news is that Lambo didn't go for a super greedy build, right? And hold it just barely like last game. So he's not up 4 drones early on. Like, he's only up 2 now because TLO knew he had to defend. So he's going back into droning once he realizes he's probably okay. As Banelings are going to be a very good defense. But what's unfortunate for him now is that he doesn't have control over the map again, you know? So defensively on 2 bases, maybe he's fine. As far as getting to a 3rd base or making Lambo feel any pressure, he probably can't do that, especially if Lambo gets good scouting.
Ooh, Banelings getting picked off over here, but Lambo sacrifices all of his Zerglings to get that damage done. I don't actually think that TLO is in that bad of a position.
Yeah, I really wonder why he did that, because even saving 6 lings, you know, I guess, I don't know, even saving 6 lings can give you that control. He wouldn't have to remake 6 lings, for instance, which he just did. So, yeah, I don't know. He might have been thinking towards that scouting that I was talking about. Oh, poor control from TLO, that sucks. In that he does need to get a scout. Like, he's going to see the Roach Horn and Evolution Timber here, which is great, but this could be a fake sometimes, and you want to see if they're actually making roaches or not. Like, you gotta have to... You're going to want to use your speed to your advantage, and once again, just giving away the lings, trying to go for a scout. Oopsie.
Yeah, might be able to get a drone, or 1 or 2 drone kills. He does make his way into the main base, which is kind of nice. By the way, there's just like a casual Baneling on the other side of the map for TLO. He just had that there for like a couple minutes, just sitting by the rocks.
Okay.
Nothing big.
Alright, you're gonna get splash damage on a drone transfer, maybe.
The Baneling Scout. I was hoping that he would at least, like... I mean, he already sees the 3rd expansion with the Overlord. Is he really going for a Baneling Scout?
Get him!
So creative!
Yeah, I think he wanted to catch the Ling reinforcements, but there really wasn't that much of a flood.
Did he kill the Creep Tumor? I think he killed the Creep Tumor.
Oh,
I think so. I think there's a Creep Tumor behind that Overlord.
You're right. Structure's lost. 1 Creep Tumor.
So creative.
Amazing. Alright, well, since Lambo gave away what could have been 12 lings, I think, in total, had he not really pushed the natural, he's not really able to deny or even scare the 3rd base, where if he did have lings out in the map, he would have been able to maybe catch the drone or get a cancel on a freshly building hatchery. So that's, I would say, actually pretty big. That means that TLO's third base isn't that far behind. Since he doesn't see any Lings anymore with his Overlords, he knows he can drone safely, and he's actually gotten a drone lead here as Lambo gets his army.
Yeah. I'm also thinking more about that Baneling move, and I think, you know what I think that was for? He knew that he had slow Zerglings, so if he ever overpowered Lambo and he was retreating back home, he could have caught those Zerglings on the retreat when they went up that main ramp. That would have been pretty cool.
True. Well, TLO is making a moderate amount of units here. Really, it feels like scare tactics. He will have much faster roach speed, so he can do this and feel totally safe. And that's another thing that's not going in favor of Lambo. I mean, TLO not going for... Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, there's too many Lings to feel safe. Never mind. And his speed isn't even done, so that was totally wrong. Good job, Everguard.
When it's fine. I mean, like, when TLO moved out, he was actually sitting like 20 supply to 40. And granted, a lot of that supply was in production for Lambo, so it didn't look as scary at first, but once all that production popped, it's like, wait a second, you just remember, oh, TLO never got Zergling speed. He actually can't have reinforcements, and Lambo just catches all of his roaches.
Him not going for Ling speed did contribute to a bit like the faster layer, for instance, and the fact that he has an upgrade. But the reason that he's so ahead in drones is because Lambo was prepping for an all-in. So if he wasn't prepping for that all-in, that should have been a safe move, and that's why he did it. But unfortunately, he wasn't expecting that many Lings. I wasn't either. And these Lings are actually doing a great job holding everything in place, so the Ravager hits are beautiful. Oh my god. And TLO is just gonna die here.
Yeah, there's not a lot that TLO really has. He's doing a good job with a couple of these roaches. Even though he's going to end up losing those roaches to the top side, he's buying himself time. But yeah, this is just way too overwhelming of a force. I mean, he's tripled his army supply.
GG. Lambo takes 2-0 over TLO.
Moves on and is going to face off versus, I believe, a match that's already picked out. Because they were pretty far behind. Oh no, gonna face off versus the winner of Nurgio versus Tamikis, which is, I guess, still going on.
I think the speed of the second series made up for the slowness of the first series.
ZvZ, TVT.
Whoa! Wait a second, hold up everybody. DeMuslim 2-1 Hearthstone? Really?
Yo, okay, like, I know people like to give DeMuslim shit, but DeMuslim is actually, like... Okay, this is a little bit biased because I watch the ladder a lot, but DeMuslim has been playing like an insane amount of StarCraft lately, like absolutely insane amounts. I think he's probably played the most games of anyone in GM right now. I don't feel 100% accurate saying that, but I think that he's played like pretty close to the most games in GM.
Yeah. I actually wanted to talk about that. Oh, let's try and catch Whelmu versus the Laser. I don't know if Rifkin's ready to go yet.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah, if you could message them while I talk about this. When I caught DeMuslim in the first series of the day, I wanted to talk about this, but then a proxy happened and I kind of forgot. But I was like, Hearthstone should take the series, but, and then I got distracted, so I'll continue. But DeMuslim has these just like, he has peaks, I suppose, like valleys and peaks basically, where yeah, he'll just seem like, you know, a streamer and everyone will make fun of him and say that he's not that good, right? And then he'll actually like really put in a lot of work, play like a ton of games. Even though he streams, he's still like learning a hell of a lot. And he'll just like suddenly peak. And he'll have these surprising performances where he'll beat Hearthstone, who has certainly had a better year than him, but I don't necessarily know if he's feeling 100% currently. So that might have something to do with it too, but still an impressive result in my eyes. And we'll see what he can do against Hero Marine, who he's going up against now, who 2-1 Braddock. And then the winner of that's going to face probably Snoot. So we get a lot of really cool games here, but probably want to try and catch a Laser versus Whelmu. They're trying to find each other right now.
I messaged a Laser. I don't actually see Whelmu though.
Yeah, I guess that's why Laser's
Which is
asking himself.
funny. Yeah, like Whelmu was just messaging me on Skype too.
Oh.
So I know he's around.
Hopefully he just took a little bit of a break and we'll get back to that soon. Don't know if I'm getting back to that with Rifkin or still with Fear Dragon, but we're going to go to a break and come back and let you guys know.